If you focus on the basics, you'll get 80% of the results. So, I'm about to go to bed. I was thinking of something that I could just, a small video, something I could just, tripping over my words, sorry. I need to get better on camera, but how can I add value to your life in like the shortest amount of time possible? Because it's pretty late, it's supposed to be going to bed. So, one thing I wish I had learned early on in my weightlifting journey, my self improvement journey, here's a little messed up, is that if you just focus on the basics, you'll get 80% of the results. Mike Menzer once said, um, first build a 20-inch arm and then focus on the details later, because people would come to him and say, hey, well, you built this routine for me and it's only got a couple exercises and what about doing cable cross curls, and then what about doing concentration curls, and blah 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 blah, all these various exercises, all these different sets, all these different weights, all these different things to try to maximize every possible definable point of the muscle for. I don't really believe in that stuff anyways, but you know what, it doesn't really matter what you believe. Anyways, there are people wasting his time while trying to do all these things. Remember, at one point, had an arm day with like 9 different exercises, and again, it's just arms and 9 different exercises, and like a whole bunch of sets and a whole bunch of reps for every set. And it took me 2 hours to get through with it, and I didn't see very much growth at all. Even I didn't even feel even that sore, and I know I just kind of stopped training biceps for a long time because I was like, well, I just don't get sore, I just don't get results, I don't do whatever. And it wasn't until I started just doing heavy hammer curls until failure, I started actually getting really sore. I started actually noticing like results almost immediately, I swear. Almost immediately, I felt and looked bigger. Like, I felt that I looked bigger than I swear I was bigger. Just while doing heavy hammer curls and doing them, going really hard at them. And then just doing like, run the whole rack, go to failure, do a couple heavy sets with good form, and then I just go to failure a couple times. And it was over and done with in half an hour, 40 minutes, and I was sore. And I swear I saw growth immediately. I felt better. I didn't have wrist pain because I just have shitty wrists, I guess. And using a barbell kind of hurts. Using a dumbbell doing hammer curl, yeah, I got zero pain. And that's just me. But by focusing on one exercise and then tripling down on how hard I was able to push myself, in a quarter of the time, I actually saw results by just, 2 hours to half an hour, 40 minutes, whatever, varies. Depending how much rest time I need to hit that next set as hard as I can. You don't always have to hit it as hard as you can, but if you triple down on the basics, you'll get so much results, so much more than what you're doing right now, I swear. And the same can be said for something like meditation. One thing and you lizard brain's gonna mess with you when you're on this one, and you have to just trust me and ignore your brain and trust mine. So I have it written out on my wall. I have like gratitude journaling, meditation, stretch, and study. That's my morning routine, and then my daily objectives is to read, study a second or third language, whatever, and lift weights. I should remember that, but I take care of that in the morning now because my routine's changed with work. But if you just do meditation, right, and 10 minutes is typically what you need to start actually getting like the really good benefits. But you can start making progress just with 3 minutes. And then even if you only have a couple seconds to meditate, just stop, sit down right before work, right before you start your card. Breathe in. Focus on your breath. Clear your mind. Clear all the thoughts out of your mind just by just not, acknowledge them, but you just go silent. Breathe out. You meditate it just for a couple seconds. And the biggest thing about getting started, if you're not already started, is just keeping the habits alive. And this is also applicable to any point in time of your transformation journey, whatever it is you're doing. And it could be weightlifting, it could be meditation, it could be painting pictures of seagulls. I mean, I don't care what it is you're doing, you have to keep the habit alive if you want to, one, get good at it, get the practice in, but also, two, to keep it alive. If you're not keeping it actively trying to keep it alive, it'll just die. If you don't water your plants every day, they'll shrivel up and die. So even if you're giving them just a little bit of water, you're still giving them maintenance to stay alive, even though they're probably not going to be growing and flourishing into something awesome. They won't shrivel up and die, and you won't backslide and lose progress if you keep the habits alive, even if you only get a couple seconds. If you can't work out that day, even if you only do one push-up, do your one push-up, but tell yourself, this is keeping my habit alive. Believe that you're keeping your habit alive. Work hard, whenever you can, as much as you can, as much as according to your time, and um, I'm recording a short video before bed, but I'm recording a video. I'm keeping the habit of once a week at least uploading. I want to get to the point where I'm like, record a bunch of videos in a day, then I upload them throughout the week, like smart people do. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm working on it. But right now I'm keeping the habit alive because, I'm not super good on camera. I'm not super whatever on camera. I probably don't, I don't have a script. I have tried doing that before, but I just can't seem to get it right. Maybe in the future I will. I'll have some scripted videos, but I kind of like just talking. And I think I can still add value, at least more than, on the fly. I feel like I can give Eddie more value for the time being than I can if I were to write a bunch of stuff down and try to think heavily about it and spend 2 hours. Where right now I've only spent 5 minutes and 46 seconds, and I didn't have to write anything down. But I hope I am adding value to your life. So again, focus on the basics. You'll get 80% of the results. 20% of your work is where you get 80% of your gains. The last 20% of your set is where you get 80% of your results. Is where most of the growth occurs. Basically, the harder it is, continue that set of that specific weight, whatever it is you're doing, the more gains you get. And then, you drop, since you can't lift the weight, you grab the next one, and so on, so on, so on, so on, so on. Until you either curling a 5 or you're curling, your arm. I've done that before too. Overhead pressed, worked all the way down to the bar, and then eventually I was just raising my arms over my head. I've done that before too. And again, this is applicable to everything in life. Just focus on the basics. You'll get the results. You don't need to have a massive workout plan. You don't need to have an awesome um, morning routine thing like I've got set up. And it's not even that awesome, but it's like a morning routine thing that I've got set up. And as you get better, as you get stronger, again, you can progressively overload not just the weights, not just whatever it is you're studying or whatever, but you can also start putting more in your routines. With weightlifting, you gotta be intelligent with it. But with my morning routine, like I can just see if you can see it. I just slowly added more. Eventually, the beginning it was just meditation, but then it became, I'm gonna stretch too. I used to stretch a lot when I was a swimmer, so I'm gonna do that in school I went to. Um, but I was a swimmer. I was like, well, I used to stretch a lot in the swimming. I felt good being flexible, having that range of motion, so I'm gonna start doing that every day. I said, well, I should study too. So I started listen to self-developed or Elliot Hall, someone that's smarter than me that's doing what I want to do for a living, and I'll listen to them while I'll study their words, what they talk about, and I'll do that while I stretch. And then eventually he's like, well, when I'm at work and I'm on break, my first break, because it's only 10 minutes, I don't really have much time to eat. So I'm just going to read a book. And my second break, when I get my longer one, I'll have my lunch then. And that's, normally I'd have a snack, I'd come back, and then I'd eat my lunch. I like eating it all at once. It's much more satisfying. But, I can start reading every day then. And then eventually, after work when I'm waiting for my ride, I can, do lingo and practice some German. I'm trying to learn German. I speak English and Spanish, but I want to learn German. All right. So you just start building this machine. Eventually, by the time you got the structure, and then you just kind of flow within that structure. And sometimes you might have to modify and change it. I haven't changed my things that are written on the wall yet, just because work and stuff. I used to lift weights at night, and I really like doing that. But now I lift in the morning, and I really like doing that too. So I do got to rewrite a couple things on my wall. So I built this machine, and then you get flow within the structure. Um, that's pretty much it. I don't know what else I got to add to that. It's pretty late. I'm supposed to be going to bed, so I can get as much sleep as I can and produce as much testosterone, so I can hopefully slay in the gym tomorrow. But we'll see, depending on schedule permitting and stuff going on tomorrow. I'm not gonna get my personal life, but it'll be busy in the morning, and I might not have time to go to the gym. But you know what I'll do before work? I'm gonna hammer out as many push-ups as I can if I can't go to the gym, and I'll just do arms the next day instead of chest or whatever. Um, but yeah, no, it's keeping the habits alive, and it's not giving yourself off days when you don't, especially when you don't need them, because it's hard. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. That's literally like Rocky. There's a quote similar to that. A Rocky quote. It's like going the next round when you don't think you can makes all the difference. It's the same concept. Same concept. I like the way Hamza puts it better. And I've been there before where I didn't want to do the hard work and I didn't do it and I regretted not doing it. So definitely do the hard work when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. And I think that's it. I think that's all I got to say. I hope that added value to your life and hope you can gain something from what I've said. Anyways, have a good night. Get plenty of sleep and get a whole lot of testosterone. And good luck, guys.